Yay! Hi! I am Erica, and I'm updating you on readathons. Oh my, May is like the month of readathons. So, the week that we're in, which I'm looking at a calendar to make sure I do this right. So, the week that we're in, which started the 10th, and today's the 15th, the 10th through the 17th, or the 11th through the 17th, I lied. May 11th through the 17th is the BoutofBooks readathon. And that one's hosted by a couple of girls that have blogs and do awesome book related things. And it's really chill, and there's some challenges that you can do if you want to, and you can enter to win some fun prizes and stuff like that. So I signed up the second to last day to do it just because readathons, because I have that giant. You saw, if you watch my TBR for this month, like I really set out to read a bunch of series, and I was finding myself get kind of stuck in it, like, oh, I really want to read this, but and reading like other things and whatever. So to kind of just focus on getting some reading done, yeah, I joined up on 3 readathons. So I was already going to do Crush Your TBR, which Padfoot and Prongs, the Padfoot and Prongs '07. Is that correct? I think that's right. You can check out her BookTube channel, but she's one of the hosts of Crush Your TBR. And then the RibSat, so Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon round 5, which Books 101 Miranda over there on her BookTube, she's one of the hosts on that. So those ones were coming up, and Crush Your TBR actually started today, which is the 15th, and it runs through the 17th. So BoutofBooks and Crush Your TBR actually overlap. And then starting the 18th through the 23rd is Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon round 5. So yeah, readathons, yay! Books, 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 books. So this is my update right now for the first, 4 or 5 days of BoutofBooks, I guess. So I'm in the 5th day of BoutofBooks and the 1st day of Crush TBR right now. And just to update, I started it with my giant TBR, and I was in the middle of, I was probably like 40 pages into the 4th book in the Gardella Vampire Hunter series, which is When Twilight Burns, by Colleen Gleason. And I finished this one, so it took me a couple days, but I got through this one. So in the readathon, so in BoutofBooks is the first one I finished, and awesome. So it really, I love this series. She's so good. I decided that I wanted to read more from this series because this is the 4th. Sorry, I'm totally out of. There we go. Now you can see it. This is the 4th out of 5th books in the Gardella Vampire Hunter Chronicles. So many words to say. That follows Victoria's story. And then there's one, I think there's only one book. Maybe there's 2 books. I think there's only one that's actually after this story, and it's a different character's story. And then there's a couple novellas too. So I'm trying to get my hands on all of that stuff eventually. But I just put myself on this is like a little off topic, but not because it's book related. I just put myself on a sort of book buying ban. If you follow me on Instagram, or you've seen any of my videos where I'm sitting like in front of a thing, or noticed my book hauls and stuff, I buy a lot of books, and I am not a rereader, so I keep few books. I do keep some. I do have a tote that's actually full. I actually had to go buy a new tote, a bigger one, to put them in because they were overflowing, and I didn't like my books being all jumbled up and unhappy. So if I had more bookshelves, I would actually have them on a shelf, but that's for later. When I have a bigger home, I will have a giant bookshelf that has all of my books on it. There are lots of bookshelves. I see myself having bookshelves on like all corners and stuff, I don't know, next to big chairs so you can just grab a book and sit down. That's the dream, people. But yeah, so in trying to keep myself from buying more books, I went and renewed my library card. Really, I don't know why I didn't do that before. I live like 5 minutes from a library, and it's not like it's a terrible. It's a good library. Like, they have a lot of stuff. They have a pretty, given its size, because it's not a huge library, they actually have a lot of books there, and they actually now, go figure, up with the times here. It's pretty cool, actually. I walked in to renew my library card, and instant nostalgia hit me because when I was like in middle school, and even in high school, it was like the place to go after school. That's where you went when you were like in middle school, and in like the first couple years of high school, really, you went to the library after school. That's where you went. You went to library after practice. You went to library after you had band. You went to library after this. So we all used to kind of converge at the library, and you try to get the big tables that were in the kids section. You couldn't get those. You usually have to go sit somewhere else, and you have to talk all hush hush and have your little secret things. And there used to be 2 computers. Now there's like 10. Like, so going in, like they did this big remodel years ago because there was a flood, and unfortunately, like a lot of stuff got damaged, and so they did like this remodel. But walking in, it was like total nostalgia. Like the only thing missing is like a payphone, and the fact that they have more computers. I mean, it felt the same. It looked the same. I have to say the staff though is a lot nicer. There used to be some people there that weren't very friendly. Just put it that way. But yeah. So I'm not one of the little rambunctious kids anymore. So there's that too. But yeah, so I went in and just to renew my card and stuff, and then I got home and I was checking out some of the stuff on the website because it's very strange. I understand the Dewey Decimals and stuff, and I know how to find books, but I still always find myself getting lost when trying to find, even in bookstores. I'm always lost when trying to find books, so it's just easier to like look it up online sometimes. So I get really easily distracted, so I was like, I don't want to go and take like a million books. I have like 50 million books all ready to read at home, but I just wanted to be able to supplement with like newer stuff without having to go buy it. Just because right now financially, like I'm trying to save money more than anything else, and I'm really trying to keep myself from just overspending. And so I kind of put myself on a little bit of a book buying bin for the moment. And until like there's certain things that come out that I'm gonna buy and there's 2 books right now that I'm looking for that if I find them I'm gonna purchase them because I want them to go with the other ones because they're so pretty. But yeah, and I want to read the other 2. But anyway, back to my thing. So I renewed my library card. So because I did, and I get up at the Times, they have a whole feature that you can get physical books, obviously, but they also have their own library on 3M Cloud Library, where you just download that app onto your tablet or whatever you're going to use to read on. I have a tablet, a Nextbook that I use, and you just download the app, and then you can get books from there. You can borrow books or ebooks, which is really convenient if you're like, I want to read right now. Like that's kind of awesome, and they have some really good like new releases on there. Because I actually went, oh my god, I want to read that book, and then I was like, I have to finish what I'm reading first, but I already like. There's a bunch of books on there that have been on my Amazon wish list for a while. Just again I haven't purchased them yet, and yeah. So the first book that I borrowed from there was the Julian chapters by R.J. Palacio. Is it Palacio or Palacio? I think it's Palacio. Anyway, so she's the author of Wonder, which if you have not read that adorable, lovely, beautiful book, you should. It's the one that's sky blue with the pretty little face. Oh my god, it's so good. It's such a good book. My niece is 13, and she handed me that book and told me I had to read it last year. And I read it in, I think, 2 days. And I just, like, I cried, and it's just heart-tugging, and it's so good. And it just reminds you to be kind to people and to be kind to each other, and that is not a bad thing. That is how people should be, and peace and happy and good, and just things. It's just it's one of those things where you can say the phrase all the feels, like it's one of those. But yeah, so I read that one and I really liked it. And there's 2 other things. 365 of Wonder is actually, if you've read the book, there's a teacher, Mr. Brown, who does all these precepts. So he has the kids like take these really awesome quotes, and it's words to live by essentially. And so there's a book that's all together that's like all of his precepts. So I wanted to read that. So I actually requested that physical copy from the library, which I think I'm supposed to be able to pick up today. We'll find out. And then in the ebook section, when I was looking at stuff, they had the Julian chapters, which just came out this past year as like a novella, kind of, I guess. It's only 85 pages, so I guess it qualifies as a novella or a super short book, whatever you want to say. But that one follows the character Julian in the story. So if you haven't read it before, so the book Wonder is about a character August, who he was born with a lot of facial deformities and stuff like that, and so he struggles just with being around people because they have such visceral reactions to him. Like they have like instant, oh my god, what's wrong with whatever. So his family kept him, because he had so many surgeries and stuff, they kept him at home and they did homeschooling. And then when he's in middle school, he starts school with like a normal school with everybody else. Well, not a normal school, it's a prep school. But he goes to this private prep school, which is super fancy, and all the kids there and everything. And in particular, this kid Julian, who's super popular and everything, and he's that character. He just doesn't take a liking to him, and he makes fun of him, and he's not very nice to him, and he's essentially the bully in the story. And this story, the Julian chapters, explores like his side of the story, which I thought was really interesting, because usually an author will kind of let you just hate the character. And to be completely honest, like reading the Julian chapters, I was like halfway through it going, I still hate the character. Like, shouldn't I be like feeling some kind of sympathy for him at some point? And I'm like, maybe not. Maybe this is just, let's just explain this. And honestly, I hate his parents. His parents were annoying me the whole time. I'm going, you're terrible, awful parents. What are you doing? Don't give your crap to your kid. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil it for you because there is like a really, it's just a heartwarming and lovely turn in it, and it's beautiful, just like Wonder was, and it's a really great read, and I really liked it. So that was the second thing I finished. I actually just finished that today, so that counts as my first book for Crush Your TBR, my second one for BoutofBooks. So yeah, and I'm currently reading three books technically, but that one's kind of on the shelf right now, so two books that I'm actually looking to get done hopefully this weekend. I would like to actually read all of them if I could this weekend, but that's a lot of book. But we'll see. So I'm reading As Shadows Fade by Colleen Gleason, which is the fifth and final book in the Victoria portion of the Gardella the Empire Hunter Chronicles. And oh my god, seriously, like it's so good. It's such a good series. I've never read paranormal romance before. I haven't read a lot of romance, to be completely honest, except for the Sookie Stackhouse ones are considered a fantasy mystery / romance. I don't know how they pick genres. I really don't. But yeah, so this one, I hadn't read this kind of genre before, and I really enjoy it. I think it's fun, and I really just, Colleen Gleason's writing is fantastic, and I like it, and she's very captivating. And I've decided that they should do a fashion show of all of Victoria's outfits. If you have read these, you understand what I'm talking about. Every time they explain her outfits, I'm like, I just want to see like the pretty corsets and stuff. But yeah, with all those like crazy stakes and things, I don't know, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this, and I started it yesterday, and then I just had a moment where I was like, I can't read any more vampires right now, so I swapped to reading the Julian chapters, which I finished. So now I'm kind of excited to go back to that. And then I'm still reading. I mean, I've made a dent. I think I'm like halfway through it. I'm reading The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, The Marvelous Land of Oz, and Ozma of Oz as part of a May TBR twin read-along thing. I don't know. I have another person that's reading them. She's listening to the audiobook, and I think she's already through Wizard of Oz, and she's into Marvelous Land of Oz, and I'm still in Wizard of Oz. But yeah, so this book, I mean, it looks huge. It's 500 pages total. It's 3 books in here, so I would like to get through that this weekend. That's my goal. So that's my update for right now for BoutofBooks and Crush Your TBR. I'll update the date again probably on Sunday, which is the 17th, which is the last day of Crush Your TBR, to let you know where I'm at in my Crush Your TBR and end of BoutofBooks. Goodness, because that's the end of both of those, so that'll be the official wrap up for those two. And going into Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon, which reading my bookshelf-a-thon is going to be, and I'm going to turn you now, so this is going to be fun. Do you see this giant stack over here? Yeah, that's my Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon. Okay, I realize that's not a shelf, that's a deck, that's a nightstand, but that's the pile we're going through, because that's where my current TBR is, and then some. So trying to read those, and I also just took out 2 books from the library, so I'll have to get on those. So yeah, that's me, always adding to my TBR. So that's where I'm at. Let me know down below if you're participating in BoutofBooks, Crush Your TBR, or Ribsat. And if you're doing any of those, like, how are you doing in your things with it? Like, have you read a whole bunch of books? Are you, like there's one girl that I was looking at on Twitter, and she'd read, like, 6 books, and I'm just baffled. I was like, you've read 6 books this week? But, yeah, she's been flying through some series, too. And they're not, like, little ones. Like, she read, like, some solid reads, like 300, 400-page books, and, like, 6 of them. That's a lot. That's a lot of books. But, yeah. So, I am going to get ready for work. And take my book with me so I can squeeze in some more reading time before work and then on my lunch break and all that good stuff. And then I'll read some more tonight because I actually have tomorrow off, so I will be reading this evening as well. But yeah, so good luck on your TBRs and everything, and I will see you in the next one. Happy reading!